Why are worms escaping the bin? Here's the answer, so enjoy the video! Well, hello. When you start a new worm bin, right off the bat, there's going to be rebel worms that try to escape the bin. They're just the curious type of worms, and that's just how it is with worms in general. Not all of them will try to escape, but a few will just try to explore the new environment that they have. So the first thing you're going to have to look into is putting a light on top of the bin and shine it in there for about 24 hours, and that will deter the worms from climbing outside of the bin. Other people have kept the lid off completely of their bins to help eliminate the problem of worms escaping. Another thing that you're going to have to look into is there are enough air holes in the bin, because if your lids don't have enough air ventilation, your worms are going to want to get out of there. So look at your bin and see if there's enough holes in it, because I had to personally drill more holes to help with the problem. If your bin is way too wet, your worms are not going to want to be in there because they have the risk of drowning. So they're going to climb up the walls to try to prevent themselves from drowning in your worm farm. What you need to do is add more newspaper, cardboard, or some other type of dry bedding to help get the moisture out of the bin to a consistency of a wrung out sponge. So that will help your worms from trying to escape the bin. If the worm bedding is way too dry, they will try to get out of there. They'll try to climb on the walls to get some of the condensation so they can get that moisture back into their body. So what you're going to have to do, if it's too dry, is to add some water, spritz it down, and make it back to the consistency of a wrung out sponge to help your worms to get back into a normal, moist environment. When you overfeed your worms, that could be a problem. And how it works in a worm bin is when you put food into the bin, it heats up when it breaks down. And if the worms don't have a chance to move over to a safe environment, they'll climb up the walls because that's the only alternative that they have. So don't overfeed your worms. You know, less is better. And they'll get a chance to consume the food scraps, and you will eventually get rid of all your food waste. Sometimes people underfeed their worms. If the worms aren't being fed, they're going to want to get out of there, because the only alternative they have left, if there's nothing to eat, is their poop, their worm castings, and that's a no-go for worms. So they'll take the chance of trying to climb out of the bin to find a place where they can find another food source to eat. If the bedding has an imbalanced pH-B balance, that can cause problems in your worm farm. One of the things that you could do is to check it with a pH thermometer, or add a few grounded up eggshells to help with the calcium to balance out your worm farm. Don't have too much citrus in it, because that could mess up your worm farm, or or anything like that. So just be consistent and try not to put too much citrus, and add a little calcium such as eggshells to help eliminate the pH balance in your worm bin. Overcrowding could be another thing. If there's just way too many worms, the population will stop growing, because worms are their natural instinct is to stop reproducing. So the best thing you can do is to start a new worm farm to help eliminate the problem if you have your worms crawling out of your bins. Now here's the real deal about worms when they escape. If they're in the basement and say they do crawl out of your bin, you do not have to worry about your worms crawling upstairs and getting to you and trying to snuggle with you and cuddle in your bed. All they're going to do is fall out of the bin, dry out, and become some worm jerky. And all you have to do is just get a broom, dustpan, and throw them into the garbage can, and you'll have no problems. But if you're new to worm farming, I highly recommend and encourage you to get the book, Worms Eat My Garbage. It is a very great book for everyone that's interested in starting a worm farm. I want to say, if you like this video, give it a like. Subscribe to my channel if you like the content. Also, I just want to say, leave comments because I like to read what you have to say, and I will get back with you. Thank you for taking time out to watch this video. You have a great day. Bye.